Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Xnull here, and today we are gonna check out the newest 4-star character, the ROCKSTAR Xinyan. This is gonna be an in-depth character analysis and review, as well as a first impressions, as take note, this is day 1 Xinyan, so do take everything I say here with a grain of salt, as this is mostly theory crafting. Xinyan is a Pyro Claymore user, and she provides shields and AoE burst damage with her ult. Reading up on her talents and constellations, it seems that she's kinda wonky to build because her shields scale with death, but most of her damage is physical damage. Comparing that to Noelle's healing, shields, and elemental burst damage all scale with death, so it becomes really easy to build her. But for Xinyan, you really gotta think about it. So let's go over her talents and constellations, and then I'll share the 3 ways that I think you should build her. Her elemental skill is the Sweeping Fervor. Basically, she deals pyro damage on a swing, and depending on the number of enemies hit, it gives her some shields. Her shield duration is 12 seconds, cooldown is 18 seconds, and depending on the number of enemies she hits, she gets more shields, max at 3 enemies. If you hit 3 or more enemies with her skill, then you will also deal constant pyro damage for 12 seconds. Take note that if you use the Sacrificial Greatsword on her, the pyro damage ticks from her elemental skill can also trigger the cooldown reset of the Greatsword. Her elemental burst Rift Revolution deals physical damage and then a little bit of pyro damage. Take note that the skill damage here is the physical damage, so she deals a ton more physical damage than pyro. Her first passive talent reduces the required number of enemies to be hit by your elemental skill to get the bonuses. So you can get the max shield bonus by just hitting at least 2 enemies. Her next passive talent gives 15% increased physical damage on a character who has her shield. So this would work amazing if you have a physical damage dealer. It could be Xinyan, it could be Razor, whoever. The shield transfers to other characters. For her constellations, C1 sounds really good. Her constellation 1 gives her 12% increased attack speed for 5 seconds when she scores a critical hit. So basically, if you have a decent crit rate, then you will have 12% attack speed all of the time. Her C2 makes it so that her elemental burst has a 100% chance to do a crit and will give her a shield level of 3 when cast. C4 is amazing as well. When you use her elemental skill on enemies, the enemies that get hit gets reduced physical resistance by 15%. You can really see a theme of physical damage going on here. And C6, this is where it gets interesting. Xinyan's charge attacks have decreased stamina consumption by 30% and gains 50% of her defense as an attack bonus. So it's kind of like Noelle's C6, but instead of going to the burst, it goes to her charge attacks. So your playstyle will change if you gain Xinyan C6, as you will be doing more charge attacks. So after reading through all of that, these are my 3 ways to build. Again, take note, these are my opinions and this is just theory crafting, as we still are on day 1 of Xinyan. First way to build her is the full support build, where you just stack defense stats to make her shield stronger. Her shields are a bit less powerful than Noelle's, but on a lower cooldown. However, you do need to hit multiple enemies to maximize the shield strength. This build works great if you have a physical damage main DPS who can always get the 15% physical damage bonus from Xinyan's talent. Note that the 2-piece Retracing Bolide bonus on shield strength does not transfer to other characters. I recommend either the Exile set or Noblesse Oblige set for the support build. For the weapons, you go White Blind for more defense, which means stronger shields, or Sacrificial Greatsword, because as I showed earlier, you can proc the cooldown reset of her elemental skill using the pyro damage ticks from a level 3 shield. The second way that you can build her is the 4-piece Gladiator, basically like any other physical damage claimer build where you rely on normal attacks. C1 Xinyan synergizes very well with this build, as you get 12% increased attack speed. However, if you plan to get the C6 Xinyan, then 4-piece Gladiator will not work with this build, as the bonus from the 4-piece Gladiator set only works on normal attacks, and with C6 you'll be doing charge attacks. So for C6 Xinyan, you would be better off with a 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry and 2-piece Gladiators. And the weapon I recommend is the Prototype Amunis or the Serpent Spine from the Battle Pass. And finally, the third build that I want to share is the ult focus build, because her ult mostly deals physical damage, and if you factor in her 15% increased physical damage from her talent, plus her C2 making her ult guaranteed to be a crit, and her C4 reducing physical resistance by 15%. Then add the superconduct debuff on top of that, the damage potential is gonna be massive. The artifact sets I recommend for an ult focus build is a 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry and 2-piece Noblesse Oblige, or 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry and 2-piece Gladiators. When I first saw her reveal, I actually wasn't that interested, but when I read her talents and the way she works, I think she would be a really good addition to any team, especially a physical damage team. I think I might get maybe one of her. We'll see if we get tempted to get her C6, but I don't want to get Zhongli, and I'm guaranteed to get the rate up character on my next pity. If you have any more build suggestions or tips for Xinyan, make sure to drop it in the comments so people can see that. And please join our Discord of over 2,500 members. People can help you there, party up, discuss your builds, etc. We also go live on fb.gg/xnawgaming every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Do drop by if you want to discuss the game or just hang out. And if you want to help us make more content, you can become a supporter. Link in the description. And I'll see you around.